Hi Frank, I'll ask about the game in a moment, but I just wonder if I could start by asking about Dominic Calvert Lewin after this news today.
Yeah.
Your memories of him as a man?
I didn't cross paths with him professionally, but as such didn't play with him. But being a Chelsea player and he's a Chelsea person, I met him a good few times. He was an outstanding man, obviously a brilliant player, but the outpourings today have really, I think, shown the level of the man himself as much as anything. Very warm, very genuine, very kind in his way, as how I found him. Very supportive. As an ex-player, I was manager of Chelsea and I bumped into him in a restaurant in London. He was amazingly supportive and genuinely supportive, and real sad loss, and condolences to his family.
With regards to tonight's game then, was that the performance that you were looking for, a response after the Brighton game?
Yeah, it was this performance of the similar level, possibly better in an attacking sense than Manchester City. You know, two visits to these two big clubs in a week, and we got a draw at City, and I think we deserved a draw here today. Really pleased with the spirit of the team. Really pleased with the bravery of how we played, and the disallowed goal was a great example of that. Would have been a fantastic team goal. And unfortunately we didn't get the result, because sometimes football can do that to you, and sometimes individuals of Rashford's quality can have their moments, and it didn't quite go for us.
The fans have been unhappy lately with things on and off the pitch, but do you think you won a few of them back tonight, both yourself and the players?
Well, I don't know. I think the reaction from the end of the game probably speaks of how they saw the game, because I think they saw that spirit of the team and the way we played, and I think they saw that we deserved to get a result, and that's good for the players to see, because a lot of people want to focus on difficult nights and what does the crowd think and how are they on those nights. I think today was a show that fans will respect when you give everything for the club. We had a lot of that last season and early parts of this season. Recently, when our form at Goodison has not been so good in the last 2 or 3 games, it's been tough. But at the same time, the players have to play through that and play out of that.
Sam? Is there any kind of frustration that you've played really well against Man United and Man City, 2 really hard games, and you've not played well in games that people wouldn't think of as being at the same level?
Yeah, but I think if you're saying that, you're disrespecting Brighton. Brighton, came and played a really good game, and obviously the game completely turned against us in 6 minutes, and that's our responsibility. But in terms of the start of the game, Brighton have come here early in the season and won a game, beaten Chelsea 4-1 at home, gone to plays. We'll give everybody a game at the minute. I understand your point to a degree that in these 2 really tough games, our defensive mentality has been brilliant, and I think that's really good to see. And sometimes games when we maybe have more onus of having the ball, we haven't been clinical enough with it, and Wolves was a great example where we didn't take our chances and we got sucker punched at the end. So yeah, it's something that's that I think if you look at teams in and around us and around that middle part of the table, consistency is what we all strive for, and for me that just comes with day-to-day consistent work. Sometimes you have to remind some of the players on that level that the bits you do through the week will directly relate to what happens on match day. And even though it's been a tough little period between Brighton to this game because of reaction and noise, I think the players have been very good, and I think they showed it in terms of their reaction to that game.
It's another game without a win though, so is it just a win? You need a win.
Yeah, sure. And sometimes you cannot control that fact. A day like today, other days you have to hold your hands up if you get beaten by Brighton and say, yeah, the goals weren't good enough defensively, those things. Today I can't say that about the players. Nobody can stop Rashford when he does what he does a couple of times tonight, and it changes the game. But do we need a win? Yeah, for sure, because people will love this many wins, this many losses in this many games. The reality for me is just clear. We're in a relegation battle. We were in one for most part of last season, and we were in one again. And then we just have to fight to try and get out of it. And that's just where we're at this point.
Paul?
Frank, is there any indication on Alex Iwobi?
Well, I was worried at first because it was the reaction and the stretcher, but we're hoping it's an ankle ligament injury. It is an ankle ligament injury, and we're hoping it's a lesser extent of an injury. I don't know how many weeks that is. We'll have to look at. Yeah. No, he's on crutches as he left in. I'm not aware of exactly how he's doing that, to be fair. I haven't had that conversation yet. I've just got the rundown from the physios.
Frank, how big a turning point do you think Alex Iwobi's injury was in that game? The side got level, fought so hard to be competitive for the rest of that first half. You get a chance to speak to him at half time, and then obviously that happened so soon after.
Yeah, it was. I don't know exactly the reason, that relates to the goal or anything, but when you've got to be as diligent as we are in a game like that and put in continuous work ethic. And one of my messages at half time was the midfield three have to shift, get across, and not allow spaces around the edge of the box for Fernandes to pop into. So that message and that order has got to continue. And when a player comes off and you quickly got to get a player on, especially that next 5 minutes or so, like, it's understandable that there might be a few tweaks. And unfortunately, it fell in that period.
What was your thoughts with the offside goal, or when it was goal to VAR? Did you have a sense that it was going to be one of those nights?
Yeah, unfortunately, the pessimist in me thought that, because it was such a beautiful goal, and it was a little nugget of some of the brave play that we've played at times at City last week and today when we moved it through the lines. But I had a feeling straight away that it might be that side of offside, and I don't want to sound pessimistic, that sounds silly, it is what it is. I think VAR for offsides has been the biggest positive of VAR in a way, because it can be pretty definite, other than the occasional armpit kind of question, and it obviously went against us.
It was just the reaction you got at the end. You seemed to linger a little bit as you were going off, just with the fans.
Well, no, you can't enjoy defeat, but you can certainly. It's better more for the players than for me, really, because I think a lot gets said of, Goodison the other night and how it became a difficult environment to play in. But it's good for the players to understand that when they give everything, even in defeat, there's a certain respect to the fans, and all of them were appreciating the players' performance. So it was good to stay there for a moment, and what we need to do is give them that feeling with results.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thanks all. Thank you.